The redemption of humanity, our salvation, for us and our salvation, He came down from heaven, happens within the context of a new creation in its entirety. Now somebody might go, what about 2 Peter 3? And this is one, I've been a pastor for about 20 years. I get this about every other week. One of the most common questions that comes up. You got this passage. 2 Peter 3, 10 and 11. The day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a roar. The elements will be destroyed in a fire. And the earth and everything in it will be laid bare. Since everything will be destroyed in this way, what kind of people ought you to be? What's going on there? And does that mean that the world gets trashed? Like think however big the cosmic trash can is, drop it in there, right? Is that what's going on here? Earlier, Peter mentioned how the world was destroyed in the flood. Now, let's just make sure we're on the same page here. The flood is in the past. World was destroyed, but we're in the world, right? So whatever destroyed means, it doesn't mean non-existent. Fair enough? So what's going on with these texts? What is Peter trying to teach us? The easiest way, I think, to explain it, after 20 years of being asked the same question every other week, is think about what happens with unrefined gold, right? They go like to a dig and they dig out a bunch of gold and it's got clumps of rock and soot and like soil and all kinds of stuff. Well, you want the refined thing, right? You can't sell that clump of rock in a jewelry store. What do? You have to basically set it on fire, don't you? You want pure gold, you have to burn it up. And it doesn't destroy the gold. What does it do? Purifies it. So when Peter talks about the elements being destroyed by fire, in a Bible that tells us page after page after page after page after page after page after page about resurrection into a new creation, and we interpret that one text in light of all the other ones, what is he telling us? He is not telling us that the God who made the world and called it good is going to burn it down. He is telling us that all of the impurities and all of the bad things, all of the things that denigrate the good world that God has made, all of the things that are an insult to the image of God, all of the corruption, all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the unholiness, all of the lie, all of the deceit, all of the cancer that is the corruption of death in the world that God has made and said, this is good. All of that will be burned up like those ugly rocks around that nugget of gold. That's what Peter means. Jesus did not become flesh because he intended to be done with flesh. Jesus is not the Word made flesh because human bodies are disposable. God did not take up residence in a manger because he intends to be done with this world. Now, this is important because sometimes we get our theology from Hollywood. It's true. You've probably been to the movies. It's been a while. Honestly, I wouldn't know if there's been an end of the world movie lately because I don't even have time to watch that many movies. But every few years we get one, don't we? It's the end of the world as we know it, whether it's asteroids or a solar explosion that radiates a bunch of stuff, or the rapture and a nuclear holocaust that just blows everything to smithereens. We get plenty of movies, and it makes for a good box office hit if the world doesn't exist when it's over, right? Or maybe it's saved at the last moment. But we're sort of conditioned just to know, well, we go to heaven, the cosmos gets nuke bombed, and we get saved, and who knows what happens to the trees in the world. No biggie, right? The New Testament authors would say, objection. Not quite. Not exactly. The work that the Word made flesh does is not designed to take us and rescue us out of a world occupied by people who have human skin. The work that the Word made flesh does is to heal everything that Adam's sin corrupted. Beginning with us and reaching to the farthest reaches of everything that God has made and said, truthfully, this is good.